If you eat peanut butter the way most people over 60 do, there's a good chance you're making at least one of 5 mistakes without ever realizing it. Not because peanut butter is bad for you. It isn't. It's got protein, healthy fats, and fiber, all things your body needs more of, not less, as you get older. But a jar of peanut butter can quietly work against you if you eat it the wrong way, pair it with the wrong foods, or eat more of it than you think. And the strange part is, most people never notice. They just assume that because it sounds healthy, they're doing it right. So today, we're breaking down 5 common peanut butter mistakes people over 60 make and exactly how to fix each one, starting with a mistake that happens before the jar even gets opened. Mistake 5, grabbing the jar without checking what's actually in it. Picture this. You're at the store, and 2 jars are sitting side by side. Same brand family, same picture of peanuts on the front, same word, natural, printed somewhere on the label. You grab one, toss it in the cart, and move on. Here's the problem. One of those jars might list peanuts as the only ingredient, maybe with a pinch of salt. The other might have added sugar, palm oil, and enough sodium to matter if you're watching your blood pressure. From the front of the jar, you'd never know the difference. A simple habit fixes this. Flip the jar over. A good peanut butter usually has a short ingredient list, ideally with peanuts listed first and little else beside it. If sugar or oil shows up in the first 3 ingredients, that's worth noticing. You'll also probably notice that natural peanut butter separates, with oil rising to the top. That's not spoilage, that's just what peanut butter without added stabilizers does. Stir it in and store it as directed. The takeaway here is simple: don't buy peanut butter because the label looks healthy. Buy it because you actually checked what's inside. Once you've got the right jar, though, a second mistake tends to show up, and it has nothing to do with ingredients at all. Mistake 4, not realizing how fast the portions add up. Peanut butter has a way of vanishing faster than you'd expect. A spoonful on toast in the morning. Another stirred into oatmeal at lunch. A quick taste straight from the jar in the afternoon because you're hungry and it's right there. None of those moments feel like overeating. But add them up, and you may be eating 3 or 4 times the amount you meant to. Here's why that matters. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, about the size of a golf ball, contains close to 190 calories and 16 grams of fat. That's not a bad thing on its own. But if you're eating that amount 4 or 5 times throughout the day without noticing, you could be adding an extra 500 to 700 calories without realizing where they came from. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Stop eating straight from the jar. Spoon out what you actually want onto a plate or into a small bowl first. Once you can see the portion, it's much easier to eat it intentionally instead of grazing on it without thinking. Getting the amount right is only half the picture, though. What you put next to that peanut butter can matter just as much as how much of it you eat. Mistake 3, letting it become an excuse for a sugar-heavy meal. Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter cookies. A peanut butter cup after dinner. These pairings are popular for a reason. Peanut butter's richness works beautifully with sweetness. But here's where it gets tricky. The peanut butter itself might be perfectly clean. It's everything sitting around it that turns the meal into something else entirely. White bread, a thick layer of sugary jelly, maybe a drizzle of chocolate on top, and suddenly what looked like a wholesome snack is closer to dessert. You don't have to give up the combination you enjoy. You just have to change what's doing the heavy lifting. Swap white bread for whole grain. Use a thin layer of peanut butter instead of a thick one. Replace the jelly with sliced banana or fresh strawberries. You still get sweetness, but now you're also getting fiber and real nutrients instead of just sugar. Other simple swaps work just as well. Peanut butter with apple slices, peanut butter stirred into plain oatmeal with a dash of cinnamon, or a spoonful mixed into unsweetened Greek yogurt. The lesson here isn't about peanut butter at all. It's about judging the whole plate, not just one ingredient on it. A healthy food can end up in an unhealthy meal, and an ordinary food can become genuinely nourishing depending on what surrounds it. There's one more mistake, though, and it's one that catches people off guard because it sounds like a compliment to peanut butter, not a criticism of it. Mistake 2. Expecting peanut butter to carry your entire protein needs. My uncle used to say, "I had peanut butter toast, I'm covered on protein for the day." He meant well. He just wasn't quite right. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter has about 7 grams of protein. That's useful, but it's a fraction of what most people over 60 actually need in a day to help maintain muscle and strength, often somewhere between 60 and 90 grams, depending on your size and activity level. Relying on peanut butter alone to get there would mean eating far more of it than is reasonable, and you'd be taking in a lot of extra fat and calories along with it. This matters more after 60 than it did at 30, because muscle naturally becomes harder to maintain with age, and protein plays a direct role in preserving it. The better approach is to let peanut butter be one piece of a bigger picture instead of the whole picture. Pair your peanut butter toast with a serving of Greek yogurt and some fruit. Add eggs alongside your apple and peanut butter. Stir a spoonful into oatmeal made with milk instead of water for an extra protein boost. The question isn't, how do I get more protein from peanut butter? It's, what else belongs on this plate so the meal actually covers what my body needs? And that brings us to the final mistake, the one people are most likely to overlook completely, because it has nothing to do with how you eat peanut butter and everything to do with whether you should be eating it at all. Mistake 1, assuming it's right for everyone, including you. Peanut butter gets talked about like a universal health food. It isn't. No food is. The clearest example is a peanut allergy, where peanut butter isn't something to manage in moderation, it needs to be avoided entirely, based on medical guidance. But allergies aren't the only reason to pause and think. If you're watching your sodium closely, some peanut butters carry more salt than you'd expect. If you're managing your weight or a condition like diabetes, the calorie density and fat content are worth factoring into your daily totals. And if you have any digestive condition that makes fatty or dense foods harder to handle, peanut butter may not sit as well as it does for someone else. None of this means peanut butter is dangerous. It means nutrition advice that works for one person doesn't automatically work for everyone, and healthy food was never meant to mean healthy for every single body. If you're managing a medical condition, a quick conversation with your doctor or dietitian about where peanut butter fits is worth more than anything you'll find in a video like this one. The simple way to get it right. You don't need a complicated system to eat peanut butter well. Just ask yourself 4 questions before you dig in. What's actually in the jar? How much am I really eating, not how much I think I'm eating? What am I pairing it with? And does it fit my specific health needs? Answer those honestly, and you've already avoided every mistake we covered today. Final thoughts. Peanut butter was never the problem. The habits around it were. Buy the jar with the shorter ingredient list. Measure instead of guessing. Pair it with fruit and protein instead of sugar. Let it be part of your protein plan instead of the whole plan. And check that it actually fits your body's needs before assuming it does. Tomorrow morning, maybe that means whole grain toast with a thin layer of peanut butter and a few banana slices instead of the usual thick spread and jelly. Small change. Same food you already love. Better result. If this changed the way you think about something as ordinary as a peanut butter jar, imagine what else in your daily routine might be worth a second look. Subscribe for more of that. And tell us below, how do you usually eat your peanut butter? You might just give someone else in the comments a better idea than the one they're using right now.